Everyone, how's it going? Happy Friday, and I hope everyone had an awesome week. My week has been pretty hectic. Get ready to head off to Canada next week. I'll be in Montreal and Toronto for some work stuff. So I've been trying to get some presentations ready and whatnot for that. So just a little bit of a hectic week. I've been trying to wind down in the evenings and not be on my computer and spend some time with my family since I'll be missing them next week while I'm gone. So yeah, just trying to kind of ease the stress and whatnot during this kind of hectic time as I get ready to travel next week. So, but I was thinking about what to talk about this week, and I kind of had two topics on mind. One was insulin, but I decided not to talk about insulin only because it's a very complicated topic and I want to do it justice, and I don't think I can really do it justice in a short Facebook Live. So I'm going to hold off on that. I might do, if I have some time today, this weekend, I might do a little blurb about it in my email list. So if you're not subscribed to my email list, please do that. And you'll be able to see a preview of that, maybe a longer blog post coming down the line on that one. So I decided to talk about something else that was a little bit less complicated and less controversial than insulin. And that is the one supplement that has been proven time and time again to be beneficial nearly to everyone. And a lot of its benefits are in the athletic realm. So if you're an athlete or maybe not even an athlete, but someone who exercises, there's a lot of benefits to taking this. But even if you're just a normal everyday person, it might be something you might want to consider taking depending on your situation. And that supplement is called creatine. Creatine actually is one of the most studied supplements there has been, and time again, the studies prove that there are a number of benefits to creatine. So what exactly is creatine? Actually, creatine is produced naturally by your body in the liver, kidneys, and pancreas. But we also get creatine from meat and fish as well. So we produce it naturally, but we also get it from the food that we eat. And it's basically one of the body's natural energy sources for muscle contraction. So whenever you contract your muscle, any muscle, you're going to use some creatine. So because of that, you can imagine when you're contracting your muscles a lot, like during physical activity, that this can be somewhat beneficial. And so since it's an energy source, having enough of it around is quite important. So what are some of the benefits of creatine? So I've written some stuff down that I've taken from various resources. A lot of this came from a book I'm reading called Peak by Dr. Mark Bubbs. So highly recommend that book. But in there, he talks about creatine boosting expressions of proteins and growth factors that support muscle remodeling and rebuilding, as well as accelerate glycogen uptake. So for sports performance, that's obviously pretty important, right? Anything that's going to boost muscle remodeling, if you want to make those gains, is important, and it's something that improves glycogen uptake into the muscles. So when you're doing high intensity exercise or trying to squeeze out that last rep and that hard set, that's going to be important. So lots of obvious benefits there if you are someone who's an exerciser. It also plays a role in recovery as well. So it can reduce DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness. For those of you who don't know what DOM stands for, that's basically, when you work out a muscle that you haven't worked out in a long time, you have that extremely sore feeling after doing the workout for a few days. That's that feeling. That's what DOMS is. And so it can reduce that. It can prevent also reductions in range of motion as well. So Obviously, we want to have the greatest range of motion as possible. And so creatine can help do that. One of the surprising benefits of creatine that's come across in the past few years is support in brain health and mental function. So there have been several studies that show, so if you're someone that is at risk of concussions, again, athletes can be at risk of concussions because, they're doing something crazy, a football player, a soccer player, baseball player, etc. But maybe you're just an avid skier, right? And you could slip and fall and, hit your head or something like that, right? Or you're a mountain biker or whatever, right? And there's a lot of different situations where you can get concussed, right? It's not just in sports. And they show that supplementing with creatine up to the point you have a concussion versus not supplementing creatine, that you can reduce the effects of a concussion if you're taking creatine. It also helps reduce, if you get a concussion and you're not taking creatine, it still can help to supplement with creatine after the concussion to help boost what's called ATP levels in the brain. The brain is very hungry for ATP after a concussion. So to have those levels as high as possible is a good thing, and creatine can help do that as well. And even if you're a completely healthy individual with never having a concussion, etc., right, your brain functionality is perfect. Creatine's been shown to improve cognitive functionality in just healthy everyday individuals as well. So even if you're just looking for better brain performance, and who isn't looking for better brain performance, you should be taking creatine, or at least something you should talk about or think about. Another situation where creatine can be helpful is for those of you that have high homocysteine. So if you have high homocysteine and you have the MTFHR mutation, creatine can help better conserve your methylfolate by reducing the need to use it. And that can have a good downstream effect of preserving glycine, and that has a downstream effect of your elevated homocysteine. And homocysteine has been connected to, high homocysteine levels is connected to, heart disease, cancer, and strokes, and various other nasty things, right? So we generally want lower homocysteine levels. So anything you can do to help lower those levels, such as taking creatine, would be a good thing. So lots of benefits to creatine, whether you're an athlete or not. So those are some of the things that I've come up with. There might be more that I've missed, but those are some things that I've come up with. Are there any side effects, right? Obviously, when you think about taking a supplement, you want to know if there's any potential risks or side effects for it. And the only side effect that we've seen in research is water retention. So you might put on a little weight, but it's just water weight. So not a big deal there. What about dosage? Typical dosage recommendations is between 3 and 5 grams a day. Some people recommend 3 grams for women, 5 grams for men. But if you shoot between 3 and 5 grams per day, that's a pretty good dosage amount. There's used to be some rumors or whatever going around that you need to load on creatine in like the first week or so. And that's just not true. People would say you need to take like 20 grams a day for a week or something like that to oversaturate things, but that you don't have to do that. You can just start with the 3 to 5 grams and keep going from there, and just 3 to 5 grams daily. Generally, the type, the most studied type and most effective type is creatine monohydrate. There's several different types, but just look for creatine monohydrate. It's just a powder, dump it in your water. It's completely flavorless, although I'm sure you could probably find brands that are flavored. As far as brands go, I generally get, creatine is pretty cheap across the board. So even if you get like top of the line creatine, it's not gonna be that expensive. I usually go with Thorne creatine, just because I trust Thorne and they test all their products. And whenever I'm buying a powder or something like that, I like to know that I'm getting highest quality stuff and not anything else besides what it says is in the bottle. So I will, I think it's something like $20-something maybe for a bottle, and it lasts quite a long time. So it's fairly cheap. Let's see. There's some people believe there's some, I think, contradiction here, but some people believe that you might want to spread your creatine out across the day, and you can only absorb so much if you're supplementing. I've heard conflicting reports on this, so I'm not really sure off the top of my head which one is true. Generally, what I do is I just dump it in my water, and then I just take it as I drink my water throughout the day. So maybe I spread it out over a course of a couple hours. So, you know, to each of their own. I kind of just spread it out just because that's what's convenient for me to do, not necessarily because it's more effective. The last thing I wanted to say was that since creatine there's some of it's produced naturally in our body, but we get a lot of it from our diet in meat and fish, that if you are vegan or vegetarian or someone who doesn't eat a lot of meat, then it's certainly a must for supplementing, I think, in my opinion, because you're going to have low creatine levels. And like I said, you know, there's almost no downside besides water retention to taking it. And it's something that naturally that we should have in our body. So if you're light on the protein intake, or I should say light on the meat and fish intake, then definitely think about supplementing with creatine. But I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to cover on creatine. Yeah, that's about it. So I hope you found that useful. A nice little tip. Let me know if you have any questions or something I didn't answer about creatine, and I'll try to talk to you all next week. Like I said, I'll be in Canada, so if I can squeeze in a Facebook Live on Friday before I head back home, jump on a plane, I will do that, or maybe I'll do it early in the week if I can find some time. But if not, I'll be back for sure in 2 weeks. And like I said, I have an email list now. Please sign up for that. It's on my website right at the top. You can find a link that says sign up for my email list, and you'll get just hopefully a weekly email if I can keep up with that. Just random things that I find interesting throughout the week and whatnot. So you'll get one once a week. I promise I won't spam you with anything. And yeah, that's it. So I'll talk to you all next week, and have a good week. Have a good weekend. Do something fun, healthy. Enjoy your time, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.